G'day guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about how I could afford my dream car at 17. Now, as you guys probably know, I own a 2005 Hawkeye Wrx. It's been my dream car since probably as long as I can remember liking cars. I used to play it, I used to play Gran Turismo, I think it was Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2. And I used to always use this car in like the rally mode of it. That's the only thing I used to do on that game. First thing I want to talk about is, I know it's not the easiest thing to get a job. Well, I was fortunate to luckily be able to get a job with not really much of a hassle, but that was a very lucky scenario. I know a lot of people who have had quite a bit of trouble trying to get a job. So yeah, I was very fortunate to be able to get a job with not too much hassle. Obviously it took a while and still have to wait. It doesn't happen straight away. You're not going to apply for a job in the same day, you're not going to get it. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to get a job when I was young. My first job was actually working at McDonald's. That was a very, very, very good first job because it's a pretty fast-paced job, so it teaches you good work ethic. I can't even say that word. Work ethic. So it teaches that really well. I have a pretty good program in place there as well. As for the money side of it, I mean, it wasn't very good, but it's definitely a lot of money for what, well, I was just turned 15. So I remember getting my first paycheck and I was so happy, I thought I was rich. Saying earlier, it was a very good first job. Like, I learned a lot. They took, I think it was around about 2 to 3 weeks to get back to me. It started off with me applying, obviously, and then I went and passed stage 1, then stage 2 is where you get the interview. I mean, in my opinion, that job was one of the best things that happened. Yeah, so it wasn't the easiest to save back then because majority of it just goes to like my phone bill, food and whatnot, just daily needs, I guess. Yeah, it was 100% an awesome first job. You learnt a lot. I mean, I was 15 when I got my job. It was very, very, very different me going to work rather than just going to school every single day. It's definitely a learning curve to get over. The earlier I thought I got a job was better. I mean, you get to start saving money a bit earlier. You get the budget, like as in you get to learn how to budget your money, and it's just a good thing to have when you're younger. So you don't, when you're 18, get a job and think, wow, I've got all this money, what do I do with it? And you spend it on stupid things. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here spending all my money on the car. Yeah. So the first thing I did when I got my job was I calculated up all the expenses that I need monthly, sorry. And I calculated what it will cost, and then I'll put that money aside plus say however much money I think that I would need to spend, and the rest of it went all to savings. I mean, you're not going to save a heap at McDonald's because you'll find that a lot of it, the money that you get, you actually need, but it's definitely a start. Like, say 50 bucks a week you're putting away, that's around about $2,500 a year, $2,600 a year. I mean, that's more than a start if you ask me. You can still buy a car for $2,600. It might not be in the best shape, but I mean, you can buy a car. So I worked there for a year and a bit. I think I saved around about $4,000 to $5,000 at McDonald's. So at school I was doing a engineering certificate for my course, and I did that for about a year, and you had to do work experience. I was doing that up in Melbourne, which my uncle owns the business, and yeah, they let me in there to do like their fabrication side of thing, and I didn't mind it, but it was kind of, I don't know, being stuck in the factory all day, every day, it kind of got to me. Yeah, so they're actually a signage company. At the end of the year when I finished year 11, I didn't want to do year 12 because I personally thought that I didn't need it. I was fortunate enough for them to offer me an apprenticeship as a sign writer. I'd done a few installs before, but it was still new to me, that whole side of things, so it was perfect as an apprenticeship. I am extremely happy that I accepted that for 2 reasons. One, it's a good job, like you're never doing the same thing every single day, and 2, I'm earning a lot more money than when I was at McDonald's. which is obviously helping me to save. So straight away when I got that job, I did another budget. I calculated up all the expenses that I would need, train fares and everything that I would need to spend in a week. Plus I put $100 aside for spending money for things that I wanted to spend on, say going out with a few mates to the movies or whatever. But once I figured all that out, I knew how much I would save a week. So I think I was saving around about $300 to $400 a week, which is a lot. I saved that up for, I don't exactly know to be honest, until I had enough money for a car that I wanted. I ended up saving up $18,500. So I'm by no means a financial advisor, but the 5 things I would say would help you save for a car, your dream car, would be budgeting 1000%. That is the biggest thing. You've got to know what your expenses are and what you can afford to spend, what you can afford to save. Because the worst thing is saving everything and living off 2-minute noodles, which I have definitely done. I did a lot of things to, I guess, save money that I regret doing, like not living your life. So that was my biggest regret. So number 1 was budgeting. 2 is don't save too much where you don't have a life, like you can't go out with your mates because you have 50 cents in the bank account, which was me, because I was so obsessed with saving up for a car. All I did was look up budgeting videos and everything just to save as much money as I could get. Don't save up too much that you can't do anything, like you can't go to the supermarket and buy something. So number 3 would be make sure you don't touch the bank account. And like I said earlier, I didn't have any money left in my bank account, so I would just say, oh, 20 bucks is alright if I still out of my savings account. Oh, that won't matter too much. Like, but if you do $20 every week, it adds up. Like that's, oh no, not my maths again. 200. That's like $1,000 a year of, oh yeah, it won't matter sort of thing. That is a lot of money that could have been put into your car. So try not to take money out of the savings account that you're trying to save with, because that was my biggest flaw. Like I could have saved quite a bit more if I didn't just say, oh yeah, this little bit of money won't hurt sort of thing, I'll get it back and I'll make sure I put it in next week, which you won't. Or if you do, you just take it back out again because you definitely don't have enough money for that week. So one thing I did to try to prevent that was I actually put my money into like a locked bank account, so I got a lot more interest for it, as well as it was locked so I couldn't touch it. So that helped me quite a bit. So number 4, coppers. Exactly what I want. So they're not pulling me over yet. Right at my bum though. So yeah, number 4, back to it. It's not really a budgeting thing. So what I did was, once I kind of figured out around about the figure that I would have to buy a car, looked on car sales, which is the Australian website for like looking at cars, looked at a few cars that were in my budget that I wanted to get, and I set a goal for it. At the time it was actually a Toyota 86. So yeah, that was my car that I was, I guess, aiming for. So that was one thing that helped me a lot, because I'm thinking, if I take this money out this week, like I go back to number 3, where you take the money out of your own bank account. So I was always thinking, well, if I take this money out, then I'm not going to be able to afford this in 6 months because I'm not going to have enough money. And I always like kind of went back on it, backtraced sort of thing, and thinking, hang on, I shouldn't do this. Well, you've got a goal, you want to reach that goal, and you know if you keep taking money out of that bank account, then you're not going to reach the goal. So that, in my opinion, was a very, very important step, knowing what you want to achieve. So you know you can't sort of think, oh, I was going to save up, say, $7,000, but now I'm only going to save up $6,000 because, I mean, I don't need that good of a car. No, once you set a goal, just leave it, don't change it. Just be stern with your own words, set the grounds, make sure you don't cheat. So last but not least, number 5. So what I did was I set a goal time where I wanted that like amount of money. My goal was to have it by December 1. Was my target amount, which was $18,500. And then I would be all out. I could buy any car, you know, obviously in that price range that I wanted, and I could talk them down because I would have cash. So they're my 5 tips, if you call them tips. I guess they're tips. I'm by no means like I said, a financial advisor. I'm just a kid who saved up and bought his car. But I hope you guys did get something out of this, because when I was looking for a car, all I did was looking up how to save money and how to buy my dream car and everything. And then you get roped into the scam. Jane, $6,000 a month by sitting on your computer and doing nothing. The way that I've always thought about it is the harder you work, the better things you can get. I mean, it's not just cars. Like, you can do it with houses. That's what I'm going to start doing soon with a house. Saving up for a house, setting goals, what you want to spend and whatnot. House is a little bit more tricky because they constantly going up in price, so it's a bit hard to judge. Well, I mean, now they're going down in price with this whole coronavirus. But yeah, good luck saving, everyone. I know the time sitting on, like, I was doing car sales every single day, looking at every single new car comes up. I reckon I could just about name every single 86 that was on car sales at the time. I mean, obviously I didn't buy an 86. The reason why I didn't, it's a funny story really, is that day I was going to go, that I bought this car, I was going to go check out an 86. And then I went up to Vic Roads thinking, oh, is this car actually legal? Like, I knew it was, but I was just triple checking everything, making sure, well, I could make a purchase here. I better make sure that what I'm doing is legal. So yeah, I checked, and then all of a sudden WRX has popped up. And so I looked up a WRX on car sales, saw it. We decided we weren't going to go have a look at the 86 anymore. We were going to go have a look at WRX. And I took it for, well, I didn't get to take it for a drive because I was still on my L plates. So that sucked. I was so sad because, I mean, my mum, uncle and dad came up and they were saying how good of a car it is. So I'm like, nah, I'm buying it. So I went back, put a deposit down, and then 2 months later, when I could get my money out of my long-term deposit, which is like the locked bank account, I purchased a car, and the day that I took the car home was November 30th. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the tips. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment any ideas, or just say g'day or something. I mean, I love to hear comments. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Again, catch you later.